The free Excel course that you're about to watch is just a small part of Microsoft Office full course bundle. So if you want to also master Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint with my teaching style and also be able to gain a certificate of completion for the course you're watching, you can feel free to tap the first link in the description right now and join us over there in a fraction of cost. Also mentionable that this course is brought up to you by the Takeoff College, the smartest alternative currently available to the traditional education. With all that being said, I'm very excited to get started, so let's go. After all, the next thing that I want to go through, which is again a very interesting one, is the functions and the formulas that we have inside Microsoft Excel. So beforehand, let's talk a little bit about the concept of addressing inside Excel. So every single data, every single cell that we have inside Excel has a name. And that name is visible over here. Whenever I am selecting a cell, I can come here and see the name of it. And how these names work is basically, at first we have the letter of that column that this cell is located in. And after the letter, sticked to the letter, we have the number of the row of that column. So this is placed in the column H and in the row 3. So this is called H3, as you see. This, for example, is placed in the column H still, but in the row 13. So this is called H13, as you see. So this is as easy as that. This is how we can address our cells inside Microsoft Excel. We also have ranges, and how we address ranges is basically, for example, we have this range over here. How we address this specific range is that we say H6, so the beginning of the range, and then we say the end of it, so H12. And then we write it like this. So I say H6, this little thing, and H13. And this is how we specify a range inside Microsoft Excel. So now that you are familiar with the addressings that we have inside Excel, and you know how to address a cell or a range, now we are free to head over to the functions that we have inside Excel. So before, let me again import the sample data. I will provide you with the sample data inside the course page. And these will be provided to you, and you will be able to use them easily in order to practice all these things that you are learning. So this is, as you see, what we have. So what functions and formulas are. So let me introduce what they are at first. Functions and formulas are about making relationships and interactions between these cells that we have and this data, and making cells that are related to other cells. And that is when we use functions and formulas that we have inside Microsoft Excel. The first thing that I want to start with is that how can we copy the content of a specific cell into another cell. So first, for example, I want to copy this finance or this cell, this specific cell, whatever it is. I want to copy the content of it into this cell. So first I need to understand the address to it. So as you see, this is in C and 6. So this finance is C6. And then I go to the different cell, and inside that cell I start with equals. So this is how all formulas and functions are going to start with the equal. And I say equals C6. And I press enter. And as you see, here we have finance. So if I change it, I say financial, for example. And I press enter. As you see, the content to this one will change. So this is how we clone another cell's content into another cell, So I change it back to finance. The next thing that I want to talk about is specifically for numbers. So let's say that I want to add the salary of John, the target sales or whatever, or let's do it by salary, right? So I want to add the salary of John to the salary of David, for example. So I want to add D2, as you see over here, to D6. And I want to show it over here. So what I can do is that, again, I need to start with equals. And then I say D2. As you see, it will make a selection of that very specific cell in order to make sure that we are doing the right thing. Then I can use plus D6, and using that plus, we'll add these two to each other. So we'll summarize these two. If I press enter, as you see, it says 10,700. So it has added 4,500 to 6,200. Just like that, as cool as that. We also can add multiple of these together. So I want, for example, the total salary over here. So I can come here and say equals D2 plus D3 plus D4 plus D5 plus D6. And press enter. And as you see, this is the total salary of this month that has to be paid. And this is the summary, the summarization of all these items and values over here. So this is adding. As well as adding, we also have subtraction. So how we do that is basically the same. So we use equal. We address the first cell. For example, I say E or F2. So I want to make, let's say we have a target sales and we have actual sales. I want to specify the difference between them. So I can say here, I can say equals G2 minus F2. So this will show me the distance of the actual sales with the target sales. So John has had a bad performance because it has had minus 1,500. So this is the distance between the actual sales that he has made and the target sales that he had. But if I do the same here, for example, for G3, I forgot to use equal. So G3 equals G3 minus F3. As you see, Sarah, unlike John, has had a good performance. So she has had $1,000 sale more than her target sales. So that's basically it. That's what we have with subtractions inside Excel. We have multiplication as well. So I can, for example, multiply this 10% to the actual sales in order to specify that how much this John is going to take from this 8,500. So he has 10% bonus from the sales that he makes. So I say this sale, for example, equals to G2, 8,500, multiple. So I use this star to do multiplication, and I multiply it with E2. And as you see, now it has calculated me 10% of 8,500, which is 850, as easy as that. So these are very cool. I love these formulas and functions, as they help us a lot, actually, a lot. So this is it. This is what we have with multiplication. We also have division inside Microsoft Excel. And let me add my own values over here. So for example, I say 12 and 3. Then I want to divide 12 by 3. So here I say equals A14, which is this 12, divided to, so I use slash in order to divide, divided to or divided by A15. And then as you see, it says 4. And this is how we have divisions inside Microsoft Excel as well. As I'm using the term formulas, and as you saw, we can use mathematical formulas and all mathematical commands over here. And we can merge them as well. So here, for example, I can do multiple of calculations at the same time. So for example, I can say I want this cell to be equal to, for example, I want to calculate the total, the summary of salary and the 10% bonus over the actual sales that John has made. So in order to do that, I want to first have D2. So D2 is the salary of John. And then I want to add this D2 to here. I use parentheses in order to specify the mathematical priorities. So parentheses are allowed as well inside formulas. So I say I want D2, so the salary of John, to be combined, to be added on top of the actual sales that John has made. So G2, which is the actual sales, multiplied to the bonus, so E2, which is 10%. So if I press enter, as you see, John had made 4,500 as his main salary, and on top of that he had made 850 as bonus, and 4,500 plus 850 will equal to 5,350. As easy as that. We can add formulas, mathematical formulas over here. So I do the same for Sarah. If you didn't understand, watch out. So I'll explain again a little bit. For Sarah, I say equals. So first I want the salary of Sarah, which is 5,500. So I say D3, which is the salary of Sarah, plus parentheses. Inside those parentheses, I say the actual sales that Sarah has made, so G3, multiplied to the bonus percentage of Sarah, which is 15%, which is E3. So again, as you see, for example, this is going to be how much Sarah is going to take home. So these are basically what we have as formulas inside Microsoft Excel.